Alive and alert on the north side of the dirt. It is your man D-Real coming at you with another Be Real with D-Real, where edutainment is what I do. Delving further into the topic of Afrofuturism. Why? Because I want y'all to get it. Why? Because I want y'all to understand. Why? Because I want you to see and know how underplayed it has been for the past 4 decades. And we can do something to change that. Okay. Before we get off into that, and because I got a lot I want to share with you, I need y'all to do what you always do for me. Comment, like, subscribe, and share the Be Real with D-Real page so that when new material comes out, like this, you get it. If you're digging with a brother shoveling, put some dirt in my bucket. Comment, like, subscribe, and share the Be Real with D-Real page.
It's all right, yeah. Greetings, black youth, planet Earth.
What it is.
I am Sun Ra, ambassador from the intergalactic regions of the Council of Outer Space.
Why are your shoes so big?
Are those moon shoes?
How do we know you for real?
Yeah, how we know you ain't somebody off Telegraph Street, some old hippie or something?
Where are you? I mean, we don't know that.
She for real?
He might have something going for him.
Yeah, we sure
Oh,
do.
what kind of shoes is that you got on your feet?
Yeah, walking around all these funny clothes. Shoot, I know I probably take off running. I seen somebody walking down the street coming, talking all that mess to me, talking about going to outer space.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what it is. That's what it is. What it is.
The flash of Oakland youth hollering at Sun Ra about his authenticity of being from outer space. I mean, in real life, if we actually were confronted with some actual form of Afrofuturism, that would probably be Black people's response. Probably somebody over off a telegraph somewhere. If you ain't from the Bay Area, or you haven't been to the Bay Area, or you haven't spent any time in the Bay Area, then you probably don't know anything about Telegraph Street, which is like a street that runs from Oakland to Berkeley. And if you know anything about Berkeley, Berkeley is where all the hippies and special people hang out at. I don't know if it is like that now, but it was like that when I was living in the Bay. If you wanted to go see some kooky people or some whack jobs or some very special people, Telegraph Street was a place for you to go. But I ain't here to talk about the Bay Area. I'm here to talk about Afrofuturism. And this is the thing that I'm trying to get people to wrap their brains around, as it were. There wasn't a whole lot of us doing a whole lot of things back then. By the way, that last clip is from Space is the Place. Space is the Place is the name of that movie, and the gentleman in that movie, his stage name is actually Sun Ra, and he heads a band, and the band is just as eclectic and weird as he looks in this movie. But a lot of times in Afrofuturism, it seems like we're presented with themes of Black people in general having to wrap their brains around a theme or an idea or a concept that they don't normally get to wrap their brain around or are afforded the opportunity to, like, what is going to become of us in the future should this be allowed to happen now. Oh, look at all of this advanced technology. Look at these new abilities that I have. How am I going to use them? Am I going to use them for the betterment of myself? Am I going to use them for the betterment of my people? Or am I going to use it for the betterment of humanity in general? Probably one of the queries that might go through the mind, realistically, of Miles Morales in that previous scene from Into the Spider-Verse, just kind of getting a handle on his abilities. Now, Afrofuturism isn't a topic that's examined on an, or let me slow down. I'm so excited. I got so much I want to say. It isn't a topic examined on a grand scale. At least not in the 70s and the 80s. There were movies that examined, tropes of Afrofuturism in the 70s and the 80s. One movie from the 80s that immediately comes to my mind is a movie called The Brother from Another Planet. Now, The Brother from Another Planet examines an alien fugitive. An alien fugitive who happens to be a slave. An alien fugitive who happens to be Black. An alien fugitive running from white aliens. So it's a common trope or something that you can identify with, taken to an unbelievable level. That's the Afrofuturism of it. And I remember, Joe Morton played the role, and the only thing that made him look different from a regular Black person, which is why he was able to so easily blend in, he had 3 toes. Other than that, it wasn't a sci-fi movie that had spectacular special effects. It wasn't a sci-fi movie that even stood out. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't a fan of the genre, you'll probably glaze right over The Brother from Another Planet. And it's probably hard for you to find. If it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Drop in the I'll drop in the comments where you can find and view The Brother from Another Planet. There are a lot of movies out there that I think people have heard of, and there are a lot of movies out there that people haven't heard of. I was able to find a list on IMDb. They actually had a list of Afrofuturism based movies. Now understand what Afrofuturism means. It's a trope, an idea, a concept that examines the liberation of Black people being looked at in a different aspect, or past, present, and future aspects of Black people or Black related or Afro related situations from a sci-fi or fantasy perspective. That bearing that in mind, here go the list. Okay, y'all, here he is. Afrofuturism. Ultimate list of Afrofuturism movies. This list was created in 2018, May of 2018 to be exact. I'm going to assume it was made in response to the success of the movie Black Panther. And that's why you have an Afrofuturism list anyway. Don't believe me? Let's see what the first offering is on this list. Black Panther. Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't have to tell y'all a whole lot about Black Panther. You already know what's going on with Black Panther. You might feel some way about it. You might not feel some way about it. But it is the apex currently of Afrofuturism because number one, it's very easily accessible, it's plentiful. You don't have to go deep, you don't have to go into some African American bookstore in the hood to find it. You don't have to call up one of your homies and go, hey, remember that one movie that had them two dudes in it? I only saw it maybe like 3 times, so I can't remember the name of it. 1, 2, 3. See what I did there? Anyway, like I said, Black Panther is the jewel of Afrofuturism, and hopefully it has inspired people to do more, to do lots more. It said the list was updated as of September 2021, so that could include quite a few more movies. See You Yesterday. That was a movie that came on Netflix, and these 2 teenagers actually built a makeshift time machine. Okay, these are, again, concepts we don't normally see Black people being involved in, unless you count Hot Tub Time Machine. But that ain't exactly Afrofuturism because it didn't focus around the Afrocentric experience. See You Yesterday actually wasn't that bad of a movie. I kind of enjoyed it. It combined tropes of police killing young Black men with sci-fi. So very good movie. Very good movie. I recommend that one. Space is the Place. I already talked to y'all about. Sorry to Bother You. That's the one with Lakeith Stanfield. And again, an alternate present day version of Oakland. Discovers a magical key to professional success. And it's excuse me, and it's again seated in sci-fi. These are the kind of movies that we want to see more of. These are the kind of movies we want to challenge our sensibilities. Now, here's something different. They say Coming to America, 1988, on this list qualifies as Afrocentricity. I agree, because an African kingdom ruled by African people like that, yeah, that's fantasy. And the fact that he rules a place called Zamunda, which does not exist, further steeps it in fantasy. Probably one of the funniest movies on earth. You know what I'm saying? Fight me on it. That's one of the funniest movies on earth. If it ain't in your top 5, something wrong with you. Fight me, fight me, fight me. Cosmic Slop was a show that used to appear on HBO. As you can see down there, Reginald and Warrington Hudlin were directors on it, and it was hosted by Mr. Afrofuturism himself, the George Clinton of Parliament Funkadelic. It had interesting tropes in it. Matter of fact, just looking at that makes me want to go back and dig it up and check it out, because it was a damn good series, and I think it only ran for like 1 season. Haters. Us, from a horror aspect, you know, the focus again was on Afrocentric people, an Afrocentric situation, only this time it was based in horror. So yeah, that's definitely Afrofuturism, because it's about, dare I sound cliche, us. It's about us. If you haven't seen it, it's a horror movie with a twist. Jordan Peele doing his best impression of M. Night Shyamalan. And I ain't taking nothing from Jordan Peele. He makes great movies. I particularly enjoy his version of The Twilight Zone. He's got some nice little twists, even though the show itself isn't Afrocentric. Very good tropes, very good plots, very good stories. Black Lightning, for those of you that are into the CW, one of the first Black superheroes over at DC Comics. Just like his name says, electricity based. Good. It's a good show. It's a good show. I think it ran for about 4 seasons, and I think you can watch it on Netflix still. So That's some more Afrofuturism for you to rock with. Hidden Figures, I don't know how much Afrofuturism is in this. I would call this more Afrofact, because this actually, well, not exactly the way it is depicted in this movie, but that actually happened. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't have space travel if it weren't for Black people, particularly Black women. So shouts out. I saw this short. A lot of it got a lot of critical pump up about it. This guy, he basically is Groundhog Day with a brother. Okay. If for nothing else, just to give it that airplay and be introduced to that concept, Joey Badass. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of these joints on this list I enjoyed. Luke Cage. I feel like Luke Cage, that series could have been better. But you know, Chio Hodari Coker, he did a pretty good job of producing if not come right off the page, Luke Cage, it was definitely one that people could identify with. Shouts out to Method Man, bro. I agree. You make a good bishop. Unless there's somebody who can act better than you. Candyman, again, that's on the horror tip. This is the remake with Yahya Abdul Mateen II and Tiana Paris. Haven't seen it. I am not that huge of a horror movie buff, but if it's something engaging, I'll check it out. You know, like Get Out, Us, that kind of thing. I'll check out some stuff like that. Nope. You know what I mean? Blade, that don't even need no explanation. Y'all already know what's going on with Blade. Y'all already know what's happening with Blade. You know what I'm saying? Half human, half vampire, all kicking ass. And if I am remiss, I will say it again. Were it not for Blade, you would not have the MCU. The X-Men, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, the Mark Webb Spider-Man movies, all of those movies, as well as the MCU, stand on the shoulders of Blade. Trying to find one y'all might be familiar with. Of course, Get Out. We know about Get Out, The Sunken Place, all that good stuff. And there is The Brother from Another Planet. It got a Metascore of 70. 6.8. I thought it was a little bit better than that. Yo, there's about 172 movies on this playlist. Go to IMDb and you can look them up. All I'm saying is a lot of them are shorts. A lot of them are episodic, more or less. A lot of them fan-made. You know what I'm saying? My thought process is we need to expand Afrofuturism, at least on the screen, as far as television and movies. We need to make that appeal to, we need that to gain the attention of a larger audience. Okay? That's it. There's no more. I will be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until I do, y'all be good. Good to each other.